and who's making money is not the artist for sure. I'm thinking, how can we still make art and want people to make art and consider it a job and not a hobby? Instead of paying with money, you would pay with skills, essentially. You create a bartering system where I'll give you my voice, you give me your filmmaking skills, whatever. But music, it's to be shared, not only by listening together, also by playing together to create something together. You must be making music for a purpose. I wouldn't know why else.
Gigi, thank you for joining us here for WCA Talks, where we're looking to speak to all those people in the profession who are doing something different for the community. So I wanted to ask you, first of all, about Anthill, and what is this platform you're creating, and why do you think it's important to create a platform that unites musicians and artists?
Okay, well, let's go back to the reason why Anthill exists. I was an artist, and unfortunately, growing with the digital revolution and so on, I guess it's harder and harder to make a living. And definitely the new platforms don't allow that. For example, Spotify, they would pay you something about £4,000 for 1 million plays. And because of the streaming business model, everything is kind of gone into the masses, and who's making money is not the artist for sure. So I'm thinking, how can we still make art and want people to make art and consider it a job and not a hobby? And I think the idea was we have to completely change the business model, because this business model doesn't help the artists, it actually exploits artists. So what we're trying to do with Anthill is creating a new business model where artists can survive but also support each other. Therefore, in a way, it's almost like a shared revenue where our company, by being part of the company, we give back to the artist 20% of all the revenue to finance projects, to finance whatever people want to or believe it's actually worth investing in, instead of asking outside. So it's a community of not only musicians, but arts of any kind. Let's say all creative categories, from product to music to film to video game, also the people working in that, so music lawyers and the whole ecosystem around it. And that's, I guess, more or less what we're creating.
For WCA, one of our real things is that music truly has the power to change people, like change mindsets and influence hearts. From your experience, why do you think music is important, and what power does it have to bring a change to people?
I'd say if you could imagine the world without music, I don't think that would be even possible, because even walking on the street, the noise of the train, the noise of nature around you, somehow it's music. And then I don't know if you've ever found yourself walking and all of a sudden you have this melody in your ear that comes from nowhere, that could be taken from birds, from whatever that is. So it's something that we have inside, and by people creating music which was inspired perhaps by, I don't know if the universe or whatever that is, you are channeling something from somewhere into you, and then you create into a song which most likely will be somehow received by many people and feel something, it's in a way very familiar. So you feel that, oh, okay, so this music gives me something because it feels familiar, and that's the first step. And then you add to that the lyrics, and the lyrics can essentially tell a story that you perhaps think you're the only person in the world that have experienced that. And then all of a sudden, okay, so how do you know me so well? I am that person and I've experienced that. And in a way, through the power of that, you start realizing, oh, wow, okay, so if that person has had the same experience, perhaps I'm not alone. Therefore, perhaps it's not just one more people, but it's many people. And then you can see from music that sells millions of records, most of the time is because the message is a very common message that takes everyone's I don't know. It's kind of like the world, in a way, it's all the same. We're not alone. We're all having the same trouble, and some people are very good at um, putting into words and into music. And I think that's very helpful for people. First of all, not to feel alone. Second of all, to perhaps taking advice from the songs and then do something with it. And also, in a more general way, just perhaps chill when you are nervous. You hear some music and you feel much better because of the content of the song, or the music of the song, or the lyrics of the song. So it does change a lot your humor, your energy, and everything. Just think about Formula One drivers. They all have headphones in before the race because they know some tracks, they're going to motivate them, they're going to give energy. So yeah, I think that's the power of music.
Great, great, good, good. Some of our values which we have at WCA are things like kindness, respect, compassion. So those human qualities which sometimes we might not see so prevalent in society, especially when you look at the media which is heavily negative. Do you think now it's important for aspiring musicians or established musicians to consider that in their music when they're looking to create something that might bring something different to society?
Wow. Okay. I don't know if it's an age thing, but when I was younger, the reason why you do music was not to become famous, but was to be with your friends and have fun together. And then technology got us to a point where there's a lot of bedroom producer, which is actually not a collaboration. But music, it's to be shared, not only by listening together, also by playing together to create something together. We are in a society where singularity is a goal, like being unique, being the one. Whilst when is the time you were happier? Probably when you were with someone doing something together rather than by yourself. Because if you do something amazing by yourself and nobody's around you, I don't think you can celebrate that much. So I think it's time for people to realize we are social animals. We need to do things together, and we need to go back into, yeah, share things together, make things together, and make the biggest change to make is, I think, is a change of mindset from being a leader to being part of a community.
We have a grand ambition, which is to try and make a change by uniting artists, entertainers, and musicians, which is always a good endeavor, but faces many challenges. How important do you think it is for musicians to consider this? Or do you think it's something that should just naturally emerge when they're connecting with the music, connecting with nature, as you mentioned?
So I think it's difficult for musicians, unless they play different instruments, to collaborate, because they kind of, in a way, you are competing. Because if you are 10 singers, you're not going to make, a band with 10 singers unless you are choir. So I think the collaboration aspects of things have to happen between other skills. For example, you are a musician, you need a video, you need someone to take photos, you need all of the aspects of the production. So the collaboration aspect, I think, should happen between all creatives that do different things. Obviously musicians, so guitar, bass, drums, whatever, but then filmmakers, costume designers, animation designers, video game designers, social media, content creators, to exchange their skills. And also, for example, if you think about, if the world was back in the days, instead of paying with money, you would pay with skills. Essentially, you create a bartering system where I'll give you my voice, you give me your filmmaking skills, whatever. That would be make more sense for everyone. Because, I mean, obviously, if you're famous and you have money, that's not an issue. But if you are starting, or if you struggle to make money, and you struggle to make it, is because you don't have the money to pay for someone to get to the next level. But what if I told you, okay, I am the best in singing and you are the best in filmmaking. We need each other. Let's just not pay each other and exchange our skills to make something together. So I think that's in my opinion, what we're trying to do with Until is essentially creating a new bartering system where what you pay with is your skill set. And then create a system, of course, because people have different levels, and you know, grow together towards that result.
And also, you're in music education, so yeah, you see it. So you see a generation of new people coming through. Do you think making music for a purpose has a place in the curriculum?
You must be making music for a purpose. I wouldn't know why else. I mean,
Yeah.
even if it was a purpose of becoming famous, it's still a purpose. You choose your purpose according to your values, I guess. So the only thing I would say is the more honest with yourself you are into why you're making music, the most likely you will be successful. Because if the only reason to make music is to become rich or cool, I don't think you have strong enough values and reasons to be successful, considering how many people in the world are actually have this need inside to express themselves through music, and that's the only way they can do it. It's not because they want to make money, it's because I can't do anything else but writing with my guitar, and it makes me feel better, and I make people feel better.